Live from the Salem Civic Center in Salem, Virginia, this national championship weekend rolls on with the NABC Division III Senior All-Star Game with Dave McHugh. My name's Joe Davis, and Dave, this should be a pretty cool thing today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It usually get a consolation game, and really of all weekends, this would have been kind of cool to see that game as well between Guilford and Randolph-Macon. But, now we get a chance to see some players that many people have heard about or many people have maybe seen once or twice kind of get on the floor and play together. The likes of Sean Wallis and Tyler Sanborn opposing each other, or Clay Henson actually opposing his own teammate in Tyler Sanborn. It's going to be kind of fun here, and I'm looking forward to it.
And a lot of the players' families traveled with them. You've got the Randolph-Macon team here. They've got a couple of players on these squads as well, so it should be a pretty cool atmosphere for an all-star game, and pretty exciting afternoon. We're going to run you through the rosters quickly. First, for the West All-Star team, they'll be wearing the dark jerseys, and they're coached by Rick Bowen. Number 1 is Kola Alade from Murphy, Texas, and Austin College. John Hoch from Carroll University, a 4-time All-Conference player in the Midwest Conference. Clay Henson, who gave it his all in the semifinal game last night. He actually, when Guilford went on that run at the end of the first half, it was him who was leading the charge, hitting some fall-away threes in that game. Michael Strickland, one of the players from Randolph-Macon, from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He's 5'11". Sean Wallis, of course, you D3 Hoops fans out there familiar with him, if not for his play on the court, for his blog on the website from Wash U. Stephen Fields from Virginia Wesleyan. He's 6'2", from Hampton, Virginia. Dustin Mitchell from the WIAC and UW-Whitewater. Kyle Meyer from Ohio Northern University at 6'5". Nate Montgomery from Whitworth College, and then John Mantel from Kelvin.
For the East, being coached by Coach Mike Beazell, and in their white jerseys, a 6'1". Number 2, Tim Lawrence from Verona, New Jersey, and Randolph-Macon, again, played last night in the semifinals. Also from Fairport, New York, number 3, Corey McAdam, 6'1", from Nazareth College. From Norwood, New York, number 11, Josh Sharlow, 5'9", from St. Lawrence University. 6'1", from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Number 12, Darnell Braswell from DeSales University. Tyler Sanborn, who had a huge night last night in the semifinals, 6'9", from Elkin, North Carolina, and Guilford College. Queens, New York's representative from Brooklyn College is number 21, Richard Jean-Baptiste at 6'4". Adam Choice from Newport, Rhode Island, played at Colby College, will be taken to the floor as well. Terrell Hollins from Springfield, Massachusetts, went to Brandeis, finished up in the Elite Eight, losing to Williams. He'll be on the roster. Abdoulaye Ouedraogo from Newark, New Jersey, from William Patterson, and Kevin Misavicius from Allentown, Pennsylvania, and Cabrini College. Pat Coleman on the national anthem, representing D3Hoops.com. By the way, Pat's suffering from a bit of a cold, but he's a pretty terrific tenor. He even sings in the local choral group in Minneapolis. He's getting his handshake from the coaches now. Kind of think he surprised a few people there.
He surprised me. I had no idea he was doing it. I looked over and
I didn't know. I knew he had mentioned it to him, going, if you don't have an option. And Brad Bankston, who's the ODAC commissioner, walked away and said, Brad, actually, he's not that bad. And all of a sudden, you and I look up, and it's Pat Coleman singing the national anthem.
We looked at each other like, whoa, what? He didn't tell us he was doing that.
I didn't mean to lobby him like that. And we're getting the lineups now announced for both teams, as we have already done. But, Pat Coleman starts it off. It's a true all-star game at this point in time.
That's what I'm talking about, yeah. It's got to be good now. These guys got a tough act to follow.
I was going to say that the teams now have to follow Pat Coleman. Good luck to all of them. I'm not sure how they're going to follow Pat there with the national anthem, but we'll do our best. And again, great opportunity here for the players. It's including. Here's what the other thing I saw. Last night, the end of the Guilford game, you saw the emotions in Clay Henson and Tyler Sanborn.
Yeah.
And even Rhett Bonner, just the emotions of trying to deal with the fact that they weren't going to get to the championship game. And then they're jovial here. They're walking around having fun. Clay Henson and Sean Wallis have been warming up together pretty much side by side, and Clay's had a huge smile on his face. Tyler has warned me that he will be launching threes in this game.
Really?
He came over. Well, because at one point Sean said, well, I'm going to be guarding him. I said, he's not going to be outside the arc. And Tyler turns and goes, no, I will be.
Okay.
So things will be interesting here in this All-Star game as we get ready. And they're still announcing the West teams.
And how about, let's talk a little more about last night, especially that first game. What an incredible game that was.
It was terrific. Back and forth like we thought it would be. An absolute battle. And think about it this way. Williams shot the lights out of the building, 10 for 14 in the second half from beyond the arc, 62 points with only 14 of them coming from the free throw line. And Guilford was still in it. If you shoot like that, you should be dominating teams, and Guilford would not disappear. And I think that is what is so amazing about that game when we look back on it. Guilford can't hang their heads as if they didn't play well. They played well.
Right.
Williams just shot the lights out and barely beat them.
And when you talk about Guilford not giving up, but how about Williams not giving up after that run from Guilford to end the first half, a 22-5 run to end that first frame. And I at least thought it might be tough for Williams to bounce back from that, but no problem. They came out of the halftime ready to play and wound up winning that game. They'll play for the national championship this afternoon.
I mean, it was unbelievable. 22-5 run, as you point out. They have what looks like a pretty solid lead. They led by 11, I think, with less than a minute left in that first half. They looked pretty solid. You thought Williams could be in trouble if Guilford could keep that up in the second half, but Williams responded. And in the second game, Randolph-Macon looked tight at the beginning. Struggled just a little bit trying to figure out how to get into this game. It's something I haven't seen from the Yellow Jackets so far this season. And, Stevens Point's aggressiveness and just physicalness really was a determining factor in that one. And then Randolph-Macon almost came back. I mean, they got it within 8 points with about a minute and a half or so left in the game. They were down 24 early in that second half.
Down 24 and cut it to 8, and then probably a controversial call when they had a block, and it was Brandon Braxton, too. Had the block in the paint.
Yeah.
They were going to have a fast break to cut it to 6 if that would have been, if they would have let him play, but Braxton came down.
He gets a clean block. Player runs into him. He had gone straight up. I think it was what's called an anticipation call.
Yeah, I agree.
I actually saw one in the D1 game where a guy got it completely clean on the block. But there was no way he could have got it clean. The whistle was already being blown.
Right.
And then the second one that was controversial a little bit, on the fast break, late in the game, Jordan Brown pushes the player in the back. Yes, that's an intentional foul, but he took another 2 steps and a dribble, I think, and laid it in, and they called the basket good too. So, But, I mean, ultimately didn't decide the game.
No.
It just took the air out of Randolph-Macon a little bit.
Right, but it was awesome to see Randolph-Macon come back in that game. And in a game that looked like it was not going to be a whole lot of fun in the last 20 minutes, wound up being pretty exciting. So we've had 2 great games so far. This should be real exciting this afternoon. And then the championship game. Boy, that's shaping up to be one heck of a game.
Oh, the championship game should be great. A Williams team, can they continue the hot shooting? And their defense wasn't that bad either. Their inside presence might have an advantage on Stevens Point. I think Stevens Point's weakness might be the inside game. But can Stevens Point's physical defense and aggressiveness rise to the occasion, essentially, and take them to the next level? And think about it: the 2 teams have combined for 8 appearances in this NCAA Division III Men's Championship in Salem. Stevens Point's going for their 3rd title. Williams going for their 2nd. And I believe when I did the math with some coaches last night, both teams combined have had 5 coaches in that time frame.
Wow.
So a lot of turnover, essentially. and maybe another national title for one of them.
Absolutely. Here's a matchup I'm looking forward to. A freshman against a freshman at the point. You've got James Wang from Williams and Jarrell Harris from Stevens Point. That should be exciting. Two incredibly quick players.
Young guys certainly up there at top. Wang,
sophomore is Wang. Yeah,
Wang's a sophomore, and unfortunately for him, he had a very rough start to that first game last night, and at one point he had a couple of his teammates grabbing him in his face, getting on his case about his game. Coach Williams' coach has said that he tends to say to him, hey, just make sure I stay out of your way. He took over at one point, pulled Wang over and said whatever he said. 5 turnovers in the first half, no turnovers in the second half for Wang. And then you're right, on the other side of the ball, just another solid point guard. These two guys will have a battle, I think, just trying to run things, essentially. And again, I think inside Stevens Point is going to have a little bit of a disadvantage. But if they can at least do something to keep Williams from shooting it hot from outside, we're going to have a battle on our hands.
And it might be a battle of wills in that Williams wants to score a lot of points. And you saw yesterday they scored 97. Stevens Point, on the other hand, prides themselves on defense. So, who's going to break in that battle might be the biggest question.
Well, and the other thing, too, the other factor to that whole thing is can Stevens Point get physical? Will the referees allow them to play as physical as they allowed them to play last night?
Right.
And we don't know who the officiating crew is, but if the officiating crew is going to call it tight, that's going to play into Williams' favor because they're going to be able to get position inside without any problems, and they're going to be able to get looks from the outside, if not getting fouls called on those open looks.
Just about ready to get started here in the NABC Division III Senior All-Star Game. We're at the Salem Civic Center in Salem, Virginia. Of course, the national championship game to follow later this afternoon.
Both teams still being announced here, and look at this East lineup in front of me. I got Tyler Sanborn, Darren Braswell, Richard Jean-Baptiste. Come on.
Yeah.
This is beyond an all-star game. This is a dream selection of players, and I think the NABC, its first year, did a very good job picking out some of these guys. I know it wasn't easy. I know they wish they could have gotten a few other guys in here. And I also respect the fact that they wanted to make sure that players who played in last night's game got a chance to be in this, even if they weren't technically an all-star. Randolph-Macon has a couple guys who may not have been major contributors, but they're rewarded for their 4 years at the college and making it here by playing in this game.
Yeah, how about this for the West? You're going to have perhaps John Hoch and Sean Wallis in one backcourt feeding Dustin Mitchell and John Mantel in the post.
It's absolutely ridiculous. And don't forget Clay Henson. You could go with 3 guys on the outside that you dreamed to put together with 2 guys on the inside.
Yeah.
The inside-outside game is going to be out. And the funnier part is Clay Henson and Tyler Sanborn, they kind of know each other.
A little bit.
Defensively, I'm waiting to look to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I want to see each of them try to guard each other on a possession.
That'd be beautiful.
Right.
That would be terrific. Yeah. I don't know if Tyler could keep up with Clay, and I'm pretty sure Clay can't keep up with Tyler inside.
Pretty sure he can't keep him away from the tip.
By the way, I saw Clay Henson with a little bit of a dunk in pregame. Never seen the guy jump that high ever. So let's see if we can get him a fast break, too.
Okay.
And by the way, for those, a lot of times people talk about the All-Star game. It's going to be loose. It's not going to be really good basketball. You know what? These guys are good basketball players, and they're going to play good basketball. This should be, we're not going to see like an NBA style or a D1 style where they're just running up and down the court throwing alley-oops.
Right.
They're going to be running some serious offense out here.
So the teams meet at half court, and we should be ready to get going.
Coaches as well. Of course, the coach is all in blue. So we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
And they're wearing khakis. Apparently they all got a memo. They're all wearing blue with khakis, though the shoes are different. So at least we went off.
Okay, so we're looking for the shoes.
We're going to have to figure out the shoes. By the way, which team is that? It's the West team. East team. Assistant coached by Jeff Gamber from York, Pennsylvania. You'll remember a few years back, York was here in the Final Four, losing to eventual champs UW-Stevens Point in the semifinals by 23, and then watching Stevens Point dismantle Rochester by 24. So, Coach Gamber knows this floor pretty well.
Stevens Point will play for their third national championship later on this afternoon. They've played in 2 championship games and won both of them. The starters taking the floor right now for both teams. For the West, it's going to be Kola, Alade, Dustin Mitchell, John Mantel, Sean Wallis, and Clay Henson. And for the East, let's try and figure this out.
For the East, Terrell Hollins from Brandeis, Richard Jean-Baptiste from Brooklyn College, Abdoulaye Ouedraogo from William Patterson University, Darnell Braswell, sorry about that, from DeSales, and I'm literally trying to find the one other guy. I know he's hiding on me. Oh, there he is, number 3, Corey McAdam from Nazareth College. Again, East in the white and West in their road colors.
And coming out firing is Alade, and a tip in for Mantel.
Well, there goes the idea of running the offense. 10 seconds in, they got 2 points.
This is Jean-Baptiste. And Mantel out on Baptiste. An interesting matchup on the outside as McAdam goes to the rim. Mitchell clears.
Sean Wallace with a smile because he knows he got in the way of that shot. He brings the ball up, and man, these guys are a double screen for Wallace there. I don't think it was intentional.
We almost just saw John Mantel feed Dustin Mitchell in the post.
It's not something you ever would have thought you'd see.
This is Mitchell with 12 to shoot. Nice pump fake and a jumper from Henson.
Henson, who did not shoot very well last night in the semifinal game, really struggled.
Wallis steps into one.
Yeah, a little short. He doesn't like that. He'll warm up a little bit later.
Jean-Baptiste in a hurry, and it will stay with the East team with 18:51 to go in this first half. 2-0, West with the lead.
The other thing, Jean-Baptiste there sprinting down the court, really good ball handler. People are going to get a chance to see guys they didn't realize had some types of skill sets.
Jean-Baptiste, 3 no good. Mitchell with his second rebound in as many tries, and Wallis for the West squad.
Oh, Wallis tried to get creative and completely missed it. He was trying to hit, I think, John Mantel, and Mantel had no idea that pass was coming.
Sean Wallis, who may or may not be on the program cover this weekend.
He went and made sure he got a few copies of that program cover for family and friends.
Darnell Braswell hangs and misses. John Mantel with a rebound, and here comes the West squad.
Kind of cool also to see these teams in their uniforms. The West in their aways, the home team for the East, and get to see their school and their number. It's kind of a nice way of doing an all-star game, in my opinion.
Alade with a pump fake into the lane, and his mid-range jumper goes down. The West in front 4-0. 2 minutes in.
Nice little touch there, little patience. Wanted to look inside, saw nothing there, so he popped it up from about the free throw line.
Terrell Hollins with a nice backdoor pass to Corey McAdam, the Johnston's finalists, with a reverse layup, and the East on the board. 4-2 West, 17:45 left in the first half.
Great backdoor cut that time to get the open look. And these teams haven't practiced that much with each other. I know they practiced yesterday and they hung out with each other doing community service, but still, when you can fire a backdoor pass like that and then Mantel can post the guy up, that's pretty good.
Big shot up and no good. Scrambling for the rebound, pulled out by the West squad in Henson. Yeah, I think they've done more eating and hanging out in community service than basketball this week.
I would tend to agree, unless it was on the PlayStation.
Yeah, that could be.
Could have been in the Wii too. I'm not sure what's in the players' lounge at the Hotel Roanoke.
Do you play any Wii?
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't have time.
I've played it a little bit, and once a friend let the controller slip out of his hand and put a hole in the wall. You're supposed to put the straps on to avoid that, I think.
Ouedraogo with the previous basket. Nice little turnaround for him.
Mitchell tried to go with a drop step on Hollins, but lost it out of bounds.
And Hollins actually a really nice defense there, kind of disrupted him on that bounce pass. I think the teams are still trying to figure each other out a little bit here. Of course, you're going to see subs, and I doubt it's going to be like the 1, 2, 3 subs. It's going to be like all of them.
Oh, Braswell. It opened up, and he took it to the rim.
You got an open look like that. He almost looked surprised that nobody had come over to defend him. So he took it all the way to the rim.
Tied at 6 with 16-18 to go.
Great pass by Wallis.
To Alade.
Kola Alade from Austin. The assist by Sean Wallis from Washington.
A nice find inside to Ouedraogo. Pass coming from Hollins, and we're tied at 8.
I'll say this much, the passing so far has been terrific.
Wallis fires and hits from downtown.
That whole theory they were going to run offenses, I think, has just been scuttlebutted.
Scuttlebutted, beautiful.
There you
Got our scuttlebutted out of the way for the day. 3 from McAdam. Mitchell the board. Mantel on an alley-oop from Wallis.
Oh, he'll hear about that from Wallis later.
I think he's got as much of a case as Wallis did, as spiking it home as Ouedraogo. But Wallis left that one a little short.
Yeah, he did leave it a little
tough
short.
play for Mantel.
That's true. Mantel could have stopped and held. By the way, checking in now for the West, John Hoch.
Nate Montgomery.
Yep.
Also comes in.
Also, Kyle Meyer checks into the game, and then the East just took out the whole squad.
Tyler Sanborn has come in for the East squad along with Tim Lawrence.
I was hoping for our first Guilford v. Guilford matchup there, but Coach quickly pulled Henson out of the game.
Adam Choice, John Sharlow, and Kevin Misavicius in for the East squad. Alade feeds Montgomery in the post, who works on Sanborn, and they'll say he stepped on the line.
Sanborn, actually, a little physicality inside there. Almost looked like he was thinking about the semifinal last night.
John Hoch picks up Sharlow.
I mean, you got to think about the referees here, too. How do you call this game?
I know, right?
I mean, do you call it like a game? Do you loosen it up a little bit? What do you do?
Tim Lawrence, who hit a 3 in the closing moments last night, misses long. 2 Randolph-Macon players on the floor right now, neither of whom saw significant time last night. Actually didn't see any time until the final minute of the game when it was out of hand. Pretty cool to see them get a chance to play with the premier players in the country in this game.
Yeah, and the thing for that is, a lot of people ask, well, why are they in the game? But you know what? It's a reward to them for where they've gotten with their program to get to this point. And it's not like the NABC also can just fly in 3 or 4 alternates and just have them standing by. You want to have these guys, if they fly them in, you want them playing. So they leave a couple spots open for teams that have players who are seniors.
Misavicius from way downtown. 13-11. The East with their first lead with 14 and a half to go in this first half.
Stephen Fields, by the way, is checked in for Virginia Wesleyan. He's been a pretty good player for the Marlins most of his career.
And he feeds Kyle Meyer, who misses it from the right side, and Sharlow the other way. Stolen away by Fields.
Good defense, honestly, for both teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they're playing pretty solid on the defensive end. Oh, they're going to call. I don't know. I guess it was coming down. Tyler went to argue it and then decided not to, but it must have been coming down before he hit it.
Tied at 13, 14:04 to go in the first half for the NABC Division III Senior All-Star Game in Salem, Virginia. Sanborn was harassed by Fields as he accepted the pass from Sharlow. It goes out of bounds and over to the West squad. Here's John Hoch from Carroll University. Good three-point shooter, but he once scored 34 points in a game without even trying a 3.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. You can put up that many points without putting up a 3, and you're a three-point shooter.
Yeah.
You don't even go to your bread and butter. Oh, Misavicius tried to go skip pass, and it was stolen by Randolph-Macon's
player that's not on the roster.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I know he's on here somewhere.
Michael Strickland, I believe it is,
yep,
wearing number 5 instead of
Clay Henson, who normally wears 11.
Yeah, that's Michael Strickland, wearing 5 in the dark jerseys. Yeah, foul here on Misavicius as Meyer will go to the line. Meyer, a second-team All-American out of Ohio Northern University. His first free throw is off the front of the rim. 13-13 game with 13:22 to go in the first half.
That answers the question. The officials will call for some things. They will send guys to the line.
That is the first foul that we have seen. It took 6.5 minutes to get there. Second free throw goes for Meyer, and the West back on top.
Meyer with one of those releases that'll throw guys off in the lane where he gets it all the way up, hesitates, and then releases. You see like 3 guys go, oh, he didn't let go.
Sanborn just so much taller than everyone else with a two-hand flush.
What a slam dunk. And then a grin from the big man.
I say he's so much taller than everyone else. He's about the same size as Nate Montgomery, but he plays taller than everyone else. That wingspan of the reach.
Oh, his wingspan is outrageous.
Pull-up jumper no good from Fields. Offensive rebound for Meyer. And the Randolph-Macon team on the far side in the bleachers shouting for Strickland to shoot it.
I was about to say, is that what I was hearing?
Yeah.
I was wondering
Shoot
who that
it.
was. And of course, now they're all laughing because he goes into the lane and gets his shot rejected.
Kevin Vocal leading the charge over there, yelling at Strickland, and it's good to see Randolph-Macon with smiles on the faces right now.
Pat Coleman is with Darren Braswell on the east sideline.
Thanks a lot, guys. Darnell Braswell of DeSales, senior all-star, is Nate Montgomery is going to be sent to the line. But Darnell, first of all, tell us about the experience so far, your first few minutes here in the All-Star game.
It's been a great experience. We came together these past 2 days, and we got a good friendship, and everyone likes each other, and it's a good experience. You're going against the best seniors in the nation, and it's an honor to be here, and I'm having fun.
This is obviously an event that didn't exist before, so I don't know if this is ever a goal for anybody, but what would you do? Obviously, you probably wanted to cap your career playing here, maybe in the later game. But this is a good way to end your career anyway?
Yeah, it's we didn't get here. We wanted to come to the Final Four, but unfortunately, Randolph-Macon knocked us out. But I'm here, and I'm glad I got the experience at least once in my college career. I enjoyed the games last night and all the events that took place, and we're just having a blast here.
And you had 2 real good tournament runs at DeSales too.
Yes, we went to the Elite Eight last year and Sweet 16 this year. We had a good team, great coaches, and we all believed in our system. And it took us far the past 2 years. And hopefully, I left my mark on the program. Hopefully, we bring in some more good recruits and get back to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think you definitely left your mark on the program. That's Darnell Braswell of DeSales. Back over to Joe and Dave.
Braswell scored 41 points in a game against Kings this year.
I know. He unfortunately didn't have maybe the tournament he really wanted to have against Randolph-Macon. He struggled, certainly. They did a really good job defensively on him. But, man, if he ever caught fire, he was extremely difficult to stop.
Montgomery looked for Hoch on the back door, but it was tipped out of bounds by Misavicius with 11:27. Good
hands from our D3Hoops.com colleague Evans Clenchy there, one-handing the ball and keeping it from flying into some coffee. It is an early start here.
Protect the coffee. It's an early game.
The coffee.
West squad in the black uniforms, trailing by 2.
Or the aways. Wallis is wearing green.
True.
Wallis very much about his Irish background. Wait, he's not Irish.
Yeah, you're right. I guess black uniforms was completely false because you've got a blue uniform and a maroon uniform as well. As Mitchell gets the inbounds pass from Wallis and ties it at 20.
Mitchell was very frustrated there. He wanted the dunk, but he wasn't able to convert. He had to do a little touch pass.
Misavicius has been firing away with guys in his face all night. Or all morning, rather.
I'm looking around the building, and everyone just has that look of, jeez, he had another one.
Do you remember Joe and John Crispin at Penn State?
Yes.
The brothers who would shoot from like 40 feet. What a block by Sanborn.
On the dunk! Sorry, you were saying, when you see Tyler come from the backside and block a dunk, you lose track of what's going on. Anyway, yeah, the brothers.
Yeah, that was Crispin-esque, that deep three by Misavicius.
Now Tyler's just battling inside. I told you couldn't get the aggressiveness or ball play out of these guys. As much as they want to have fun, they're still going to battle. Whoops, sorry, folks. He threw it to his teammate. Well, normally, that's a terrific pass. It's a great outlet from the big man.
Clay Henson feeds his normal big man, or excuse me, the other way around. Sanborn feeds Henson.
And unfortunately, folks, our mics are really good, so you heard Tyler's exclamation. as he did that. I mean, that's his only fault. He's looking. That's his man, right?
Wallace knocks it down. The West on top by 4.
The best part of that was just as he's letting go, he realizes he's not wearing my jersey.
How many times has Sanborn rebounded a shot and then
fed it to
Henson on the outlet?
I know.
One too many.
And Henson probably going, I can just hang out right here. He's got to be feeding me.
And then Henson pointed to him and said, thanks for the assist. Hope you get credit for it.
Actually, that'd be nice. So let's see if Tyler gets an assist. We'll have to keep an eye on the tote board.
Here's Sharlow. Sharlow averaged 12 points, 4 assists a game at St. Lawrence.
A little bit higher pace than I expected, though the defense still pretty solid. Thought we'd see a little bit more of a half-court set than we're seeing.
This is about as much of a half-court set as we've seen. And
yeah, that's about to say. We've just wasted half the shot clock.
Mitchell against Colby's choice, and it gets knocked away.
I like that. Colby's choice. Oh,
Sanborn
wait a minute.
flies down the middle with his second dunk.
Wait a minute. Steps?
It's an all-star game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
When you get an open look like that, let him take it. Coach Gamber now giving Tyler a hard time. Hey, that's your teammate, except for today. That all ended last night.
That was very funny.
Don't be feeding him. If those guys play overseas, you better hope. If someone's smart, they make sure that they get the other guy, so one of them will cough it up to this former teammate.
John Wallis back running the point with Mantel, Henson, Mitchell, and Fields.
By the way, timeout called by the East just to get their substitutions in. I think after that screw up by Tyler, Sanborn, they wanted to definitely switch up the team.
Yeah, no more of that.
No, we're done.
Fields hits the 3.
And by the way, these teams shooting pretty well so far. The East shooting about 50%, 40% from beyond the arc, and the West shooting about 48% and 57% from beyond the arc.
Look at that drive from Braswell. He can't finish, and Wallis the other way for the West squad. Flips back to Henson for 3.
It's eerie, actually, how well these guys either know each other or they know the game so well that they know where each other is going to go.
Yeah, without ever playing with each other.
Right, and they'll cut to the right spot. That time, Sean coming across the top saw play and flipped it to him. It's pretty eerie.
33-28, West leading in the dark uniforms with 8 minutes left to go in this first half.
Pat Coleman, by the way, on the West side. We'll try and get a sound bite from a player there shortly.
And the hook shot from Abdoulaye Ouedraogo. And that one sails out of the reach of Alade.
Yeah, Alade, nice feed. Couldn't get there in time, then couldn't get his hand out of the way before it got tipped out of bounds.
Corey McAdam from Nazareth. Back at the point guard spot for the East. And Wallis joking with each other as he brings it up.
By the way, you might have noticed, unlike the games all tournament long, no supposed media timeouts.
Correct.
So I'm looking at the clock and can't believe there's already 7:30 left. I'm half expecting to be taking longer breaks.
Jean-Baptiste will not get an assist for that air ball.
Unfortunately, I don't think that was intended for Braswell.
Braswell now with 4. Another 3 for Henson. He's now 4 of 5 and leads all scorers with 12. Let's go to Pat.
Thanks a lot, Joe. I'm here with Stephen Fields of Virginia Wesleyan. First of all, a guy who's played on this floor before, but tell us about the strength of the Old Dominion Athletic Conference this season. We saw it all year, and we saw it here in Salem, but to get a different perspective here.
Oh, it was tough this year, man. It was from top to bottom. Like every night you had to battle. The top 4 teams, you've seen what happened. So I mean, every night was a battle. So you just had to come to play, and it prepared us for the national tournament. Luckily, or unfortunately, we didn't get that far, but yeah, it proved a lot.
You're dripping. This is not a typical All-Star game. You're working pretty hard here.
Yeah. Trying not to look bad out there. So I don't want to get upstaged by any guys. Look bad on TV.
All right, thanks a lot. Back to Joe and Dave.
36-33, West leading with 6:55 left to go in this first half. Now 38-33. McAdam stops in the lane and then puts it in with the right hand.
A little bit of a defensive snafu. You had Sean Wallis in the post and unfortunately you had Mitchell on the outside.
John Mantel with a 3 from straight away.
They keep this up, we're going to have a new scoring record in basketball.
Yeah. I guarantee you we're going to have a scoring record for the NABC All-Star Game.
Yes, I think we're on our way.
Yeah, this is the first.
Actually, now that I think about it, I think when it hit 2-0, we were pretty much.
You're right, yeah. Wallis wide open for 3.
Wow. Heck of a shot from Wallis, and nearly gets the steal.
And the West lead at 9, the biggest for either team. Braswell's 3 no. Rebound from Ouedraogo.
By the way, if you're curious, no, we're not that close to having either team on the line to shoot free throws. 3 total fouls called in this game.
Yeah. Wallis going to try it again. Ouedraogo with another rebound. And trailing by 4, Jean-Baptiste takes it up.
Oh, there's that 4th foul. Going to be called on Sean Wallis. Playfully, and by the way, knows Hollins very well, playing the UAA against each other. So Wallis and Hollins have had many a battle over the last few years.
Yeah. Would they let anybody foul out of this game?
Depending on how much the coaches want to have a little fun, maybe. But that would be pretty sad if someone fouled out of this game.
It would.
Jean-Baptiste from Brooklyn.
Jean-Baptiste with his first shot from the field today. Alade for 3, no good. And the rebound cleared for Hollins.
Both teams still shooting over 50%, despite Braswell's efforts there.
West in front 44-39 inside of 5 minutes in this first half.
A small crowd has shown up for this game, including fans from, I think, all 4 teams, it looks like. Of course, the coaches have come to get a look at this. The NABC coaches, for Division III tend to come to Salem a lot. Numbers have dwindled in the years, but this certainly got a lot of them out here.
Montgomery over the top of a block attempt from Jean-Baptiste. 46-39.
We got a chance to see Whitworth's head coach and Whitewater's because they got players in the game. Just a great opportunity. I think with assistant coaches, one guesstimation is there's about 70 of them here.
There's a dunk for Ouedraogo.
Nate Montgomery trying to get the steal on that one, and he let Ouedraogo go. He wasn't about to try and get in his way.
Ouedraogo now tied with this guy for the lead, and never mind. Henson with 15, Ouedraogo with 12. Henson is 5 of 6 from 3 in this first half.
Certainly making up for last night's. But as Jean-Baptiste goes, what you can do, I can do better.
The West lead is 5 with 4 minutes to go in the first half. West lead wearing the dark jerseys and the East in the white. Montgomery trying to join the 3 party.
East.
Mantel saves it, almost breaks a computer.
And Evans Clinchy, I think. If he had hit the table, Evans Clinchy was probably going to have a few broken bones.
Ouedraogo gets the block on the defensive end. Jean-Baptiste wants another 3, no good. And the rebound comes to the free throw line for Hollins. Baseline jumper, good for Ouedraogo, who now has 14, leading the East All-Stars. They trail by 3.
Ouedraogo playing pretty well. By the way, the East going with that hockey rotation. 5-on-5 and a foul called, and the subs will come in. I think Sean baited the call in. And they will wholeheartedly switch their team up here.
John Hoch, the 1 sub for the West. Until Strickland comes in, as Henson rests. And for the East squad,
Sanborn looked disappointed to see his teammate Henson leave the floor. Though we are guaranteed he won't throw the ball away to his teammate again.
Yeah, got that going for him.
Pat Coleman, by the way, on the East bench with Richard Jean-Baptiste. Pat?
All right, thanks a lot to Richard G. Baptiste of Brooklyn. First of all, I didn't know you had that kind of range out there.
Well, yeah. I'm normally a 2-guard, but during the season I play big man, so I got to play down low, help my team win. So that's what I do.
And you've certainly done that a lot with Brooklyn over the last few years. Brooklyn's made a big rise in the CUNYAC when you've been around.
Yeah. I mean, I always say a player is never great without teammates. So I just tip off my hat to the whole Brooklyn program, just everybody. I love them.
Did you ever play against any of these guys before?
Yeah, I've actually played against Josh Sharlow. He eliminated me last year in NCAA tournament. So it's good to see faces like that. Now I get to actually be on his team, so it's actually fun. Great group of guys. I love them all.
All right, thanks a lot, Richard. Jean-Baptiste, back over to Joe and Dave.
Thank you, Pat. Jean-Baptiste with 6 points right now, averages 17 a game in the regular season. West lead is down to 3 with 2:08 to go in this first half. Sharlow over to Lawrence, who feeds Sanborn to the post in a quick drop step with a reverse layup.
And it hits the deck. Nice little move there by Sanborn. I'm still waiting for the three-point shot he's promised.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten close.
Hasn't. He had about a 10-footer, but that's about as far out as he's gotten.
Sharlow picks the pocket of Strickland and lays it in. And the East is back on top with 1:40 to go in the half. It's 54-53 for the guys in white. One went off for the face of Alade. It's Misavicious trying to throw it back towards the middle of the floor. Stays with the West squad, trailing by 1 with 1:24 left to go in this first half, and John Hoch will inbound it to Michael Strickland. Alade with the 19-foot jump shot and a rebound for Sharlow.
Wonder what the halftime show will be. It'll only be 10 minutes, but you got to do something to entertain the crowd when the players step off the floor, right?
Maybe Pat can, I don't know, give us like a half-court shot, something like that.
Not bad. Oh, hold on. Go ahead.
I thought you were going to ask me to sing something.
And
we
my
already got
next
that.
request was going to be do some show tunes.
Danny Boy. Oh, yeah.
Well, why not? Some music from Rent, maybe.
Oklahoma.
There you go.
Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Strickland lobs one on top to Hoch. To a cutting Meyer.
Oh!
And it rolls down, and he'll shoot a free throw.
It's an all-star game. All shots have to fall, right?
That's right. And they pretty much have. It's 57-54, West in front with 34 seconds left. Shooting percentages from the field, 53.5 for the West, 54.5 for the East.
The only disappointment, the East now has dropped to 31% from beyond the arc.
Oh. While the West, meanwhile, 9 of 17 from 3, 53%. It's a 4-point West lead with a half minute left in the first half. Misavicious, who has a few threes already.
Oh!
Sanborn gets blocked from behind by Montgomery on the dunk attempt.
Turnabout's fair play. Tyler got one of those earlier. So far, been a pretty fun game here. I'm curious what happens when the game gets late and it's this tight.
Yeah.
Then what's going to,
Right.
how serious are these two teams really going to get? I mean, they're serious, don't get me wrong, but I mean.
Misavicious with 2 seconds, and that will end the first half. The West squad.
Loose clock there. I think they don't
Yeah.
mind a half second. They don't need that.
No. Went out of bounds with about 0.7, but no big deal. Ouedraogo with 14 in the first half for the East All-Stars, and Henson behind 5 of 6 from 3 with 15 to lead all scorers and the West squad. 58-54. West leads at halftime, and doesn't look like they're going to even leave the floor. They're rolling out racks, so we're going to have a three-point shooting contest. That'd be cool.
Actually, that'd be really cool if they want to do a little
I don't
fun
think we're
stuff.
going to.
But we'll take a break.
All right.
Now they're starting to leave the floor. No, just for the water.
Oh, okay. That's not very exciting.
No.
Water breaks. 58-54. There's 5 minutes up on the clock for the halftime. We'll take a little break, too. West leading the NABC Division III Senior All-Star Game from Salem, Virginia.
We've got more schools than Division I, more fans than Division II, and more upsets than March Madness. There's 800 programs with over 11,000 games leading to 2 national championships. And we've been covering it all for over a decade. From Eastern to Occidental, from Puget Sound to Piedmont, from Southwestern to the University of New England, and from Hope to Calvin. Nobody covers Division III basketball like we do. We're at D3Hoops.com at www.d3hoops.com.
Who are you?
What are your team colors?
Who can make you cheer? Who can bring your family and friends together?
And play your fight song?
Who can bring you to your feet?
Or bring you to your knees?
When the game is on the line, who do you want to take the last shot?
And who do you want to slap high fives, jump up and down, and yell at the top of your lungs with?
There's probably a game near you today. NCAA basketball. Who's your team?
All season long, let D3Football.com be your home for all the Division III football action on the road to the Stag Bowl. From interactive blogs and message boards to columns from around the region and around the nation on your favorite teams, nobody covers NCAA Division III better than D3Football.com. As the playoffs approach, get the scoop on who's in and who's out from the experts who picked all 32 teams last year. Don't go anywhere else. Get the info from the source for Division III football at www.d3football.com.
Did you know there's only one radio show dedicated to Division III basketball in the world?
Welcome to the big show.
It's Hoopsville. It's the blood of a champ. You can tune into Hoopsville throughout the season on Sunday and Thursday nights starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, live on your computer. Just go to www.d3hoopsville.com for more information, because if you're a Division III basketball fan, you've got to listen to Hoopsville. Hoopsville is presented thanks to d3hoops.com and in part by the National Association of Basketball Coaches.
I'm Joe Davis. He's Dave McHugh, 58-54. West with the lead at the break in the NABC Senior All-Star Game from Salem, Virginia. And boy, both teams, as you would expect in an All-Star game, shooting the lights out in that first half, Dave.
Oh, absolutely. 52% for the East, and unfortunately 29% from the beyond the arc, though they were shooting pretty well earlier. They're being led with 14 points by Ouedraogo on 7 of 7 shooting and 4 rebounds just to make it all good. Misavicius, 9 points on 3 of 6 shooting. Hasn't taken a shot from inside the arc yet. 8 points for Tyler Sanborn on 4 of 7 shooting. It doesn't say here, but he's got a couple blocks as well, but 5 rebounds to lead the team. 6 points from Jean-Baptiste, 5 points from Josh Sharlow, 4 points from McAdam, and 4 points from Braswell for their team.
And for the West All-Stars, we mentioned it before we went to the break, Henson, 5 of 6 from 3 with 15 points, and I'm sure if you asked Clay, he would say he would much rather take that 5 of 6 last night than today. But still, an incredible career, and what a season for Guilford. Cut a little bit short. They ran into a Williams team that I think was on a mission to prove to people that they weren't just that good because of the teams they played. A lot of people around the country were knocking them for a poor schedule, and Williams, right from the start last night, and I guess more so in the second half, looked like they were on a mission to prove something.
Yeah, I mean, shot the lights out of the building, we've said 100 times, and it doesn't even go to explain or describe what they did.
Yeah. Wallis has 10 points for the West All-Stars and 8 rebounds already for Dustin Mitchell in the first half. And I believe, we don't have it yet, but our Pat Coleman is going to try and get with Dustin Mitchell as soon as he can. Mitchell and his Midwest Conference counterpart, John Hoch, warming up for this second half with about 25 seconds on that clock. And Pat's waiting down on the baseline with his hand on his hip like, come on, Dustin, we're warmed up.
Well, he's on the floor. I think that's probably the one place I can't go today, right?
Well, you were on the floor earlier singing the national anthem.
Yeah, you're Pat Coleman.
I mean, exactly.
Come on.
This is an NABC event, not an NCAA event, so yeah, maybe you're right. He's working hard out here, though.
I was about to say, that for a halftime, that's a heck of a warm-up there.
And then Mitchell disappears, well, as best a 6'9" guy can disappear into the huddle. So.
Well, he is right alongside Kyle Meyer.
Yeah. Ready to start off this second half in the NABC All-Star Game. It's turned out to be a really fun afternoon so far. High-scoring affair, 58-54. West leading. And it looks like Pat Coleman's going to get another tall guy, Nate Montgomery.
Yes.
That's right. Thanks a lot, Joe and Dave. Here with Nate Montgomery of Whitworth as we get started the second half of the NABC Division III Senior All-Star Game. First of all, Nate, congratulations on getting here, but tell us about the tournament experience for Whitworth this year.
It was great to get back in it for fourth year in a row. We had a home game and a bye, which was excellent. We played a tough Chapman team. Just a great crowd. We played really well, got the victory. And then we went to Guilford to play Eastern Mennonite, a real athletic team, pretty physical. We had a tough offensive night shooting the ball, and just came down to a few plays, and they beat us by 3. But I was really pleased with our team this year. Started out the year a little slow, but we picked it up, got a 25-game winning streak into the tournament. So just really pleased to be here to represent my guys on my team.
Long trip across the country, kind of unusual for the D3 tournament. How'd you guys handle that?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Our program's pretty used to traveling. We do a lot of long trips. We went to DC last year, New York the year before. So, it wasn't a huge deal to us. Just had a little horse shooting night. That's all.
All right, Nate. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations, and good. You have any basketball left in your career? Or what are you going to do from now?
I'm not sure. I gotta get a maybe foot surgery. I got a stress fracture right now, so try to get that taken care of, and then keep on working, and we'll see what happens. But
all right, hope you didn't have to sign a waiver. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks a lot.
Back over to Joe and Dave.
It is an all-star game, Nate. You can smile, right?
He's taking it seriously over there, and Pat's sideline report turned into an injury report for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, we're 2 minutes into the second half, and the East has retaken the lead again, 59-58. And Ouedraogo is now 8 of 8 from the field with 16 to lead all scorers for the East All-Stars.
Would have been 9 for 9, but a nice steal by Sean Wallis. Looked like a wide receiver going across the middle, snagging that one with 2 hands. That was earlier on, obviously.
Yeah.
And they're having fun out there, and that's cool. Granted, if it keeps as tight as I said,
could get intense.
In about 15 minutes, the smiles are gonna disappear.
Wallis can't get the 3 to rattle home, and getting a little bit physical in the paint there as Hollins rips one down in traffic.
Oh!
The big guy with some handles. His first miss from the field.
Yeah, he got so amazed that he crossed up Sean Wallis, he couldn't hit the shot.
Henson with a pretty step-back jumper. He's got 17.
That is his bread and butter, and unfortunately it did not work for the Quakers last night. He really struggled shooting. Only hit 6 shots of about nearly 20 that he took. But still, fun to see him kind of shoot well tonight. This morning, I'm sorry. I'm so used to.
Jean-Baptiste has not been shy from out there. 1 of 5 now. I don't think he's shot one inside of 23 feet.
Oh, you're right. I don't think he has. I think the couple times he's gotten it and with an open look, he's passed it.
West in front 60-59 as the teams continue to trade leads with 17:25 to go. That one was within 22 feet, and it bounces over the backboard. And
he was leaning. He was trying to give it a little English, try to get it to fall.
Right,
hey, what do you do with a coach? You tell him to stop shooting? No, you can't do that.
No.
He's not going to stop shooting.
He's 1 of 6 now from 3, and it's 60-59. The West wearing the dark uniforms in front. Henson a little behind the back pass to Meyer, who hops his way to the block and misses the short one, but gets the offensive rebound, and amongst bodies, flips it out to Wallis.
Wallis thought about the 3, gave it up. Now Henson's looking for a shot. He's not going to get one. So Ouedraogo is all over him.
Mitchell from the elbow.
Henson tried about 3 times for that shot.
I did have one halftime report for you. The coaches over there on the west side were talking about how to get intelligence from Henson about how to defend Sanborn, and he said, "Don't worry, we won't tell anybody that you told us how to defend him."
And did they get anything out of it?
I was going to say,
I don't know. We haven't seen it yet, but if Sanborn starts backing him down, they're supposed to collapse on him and dig on him. So we'll see if that we'll see how that goes.
Or just have Henson clap his hands, say ball.
That actually would work very nicely.
That's worked so far, hasn't it?
Instant turnover.
and choice language to go along with it.
Yep. 1 of 2 for Braswell of DeSales, and it's 62-60 West with 16.5 to go in this All-Star game. Henson with 17 to lead all scorers. Fields' mid-range jumper no good, and Hollins pulls it down for the East squad. Jean-Baptiste with his first shot from inside the arc in a while. This one falls.
See, those work for him.
Right.
I know he likes the outside shot. I'd stick to the inside shot.
Mitchell will extend out to 22 feet and knock it down.
These two teams are shooting so well. Combined, they're shooting about 49%.
65-62, West wearing the dark uniforms in front with 15:50 to go as Ouedraogo gets it swatted out of his hands by Stephen Fields. Nice find from Wallis to Mitchell, gets rejected by the rim and then blocked by Hollins.
At least a foul called there. Nice pass from Wallis. That's twice he's found the big man.
So maybe Mitchell should hang out beyond the arc. Doesn't look like he can dunk.
Switch it up.
Yeah. Now, if I hadn't seen Mitchell play several times before, right now I'd believe he can't dunk. He just can't get it over the rim.
Looks like he got a little surprised he was that open and just didn't get enough legs under him. By the way, we're going to see that defensive matchup now. We'll see what happens here as Sanborn checks in. We'll see what the West does defensively. Henson staying on the court, so maybe that plan of calling for the ball will work in this situation.
Mantel, Fields, Mitchell, Henson, and Hoch for the West. Misavicious, Sharlow, along with Tim Lawrence, Tyler Sanborn, and Adam Choice for the East right now. In the West with a 4-point lead as Mitchell's into double figures with 10. 15:39 remaining in the NABC All-Star.
I think I see Henson pick. Oh, no, thought Henson was picking up Sanborn, but the two of them kind of collided, per se, at midcourt. Wanted a foul called on each other.
Sharlow with an no-look pass to Lawrence in the corner. Rebound Sanborn takes it into Montgomery. A couple of pump fakes and it looked like he was fouled. No call, but a put back by Sharlow.
He looked back with a smile at the ref. I think the ref basically said, oh, come on. You want me to call that?
Henson, 3 more. He's got 20, and the West in front by 5.
It's a battle between Henson and Ouedraogo for who's going to shoot better today.
Look at that play by Sharlow. And it's stolen away by Mantel. Chance for a 2-on-1 with Sharlow trailing.
Fields probably saw him.
Sanborn
coming and went, no, I've been down this road with him before. They played in the ODAC the last 4 years against each other.
Misavicious given plenty of room in the corner. Tip back attempt no good from Choice. And a rebound for Montgomery for the West squad, leading by 5 with 14:40 left to go.
Things have slowed down just a little bit here offensively for both teams.
Henson?
Except for Henson.
Another one. Clay Henson is 7 of 8 from 3. He has 23, and it's 72-64 West with 14 and a half left to play.
Joe, if you don't mind, I'm just going to write him in for outstanding player of the game now.
Yeah, that's just fine with me.
That's unbelievable shooting from Henson. And again, a great steal.
Oh, boy.
Jeez. No, Stephen Fields isn't even going to challenge this. I expected something one-handed maybe.
I know. And is he hearing it from his teammates?
No, I think he's hearing the boos from the Randolph-Macon team.
Okay.
His rivals in the ODAC.
Montgomery working on Sanborn. Defense collapses, and Sanborn gets the block. Three no good from Sharlow behind a Sanborn screen. And Henson with 23 points on an amazing 7 of 8 behind the arc feeds Mantel on the baseline. The defense getting a little bit scrappier as we move down the stretch.
Definitely, and both teams struggling now a little bit from the outside as I finish the sentence.
Tim Lawrence, second three of the weekend.
You gotta love it.
Lawrence hit a 3 in the closing moments last night of their loss to Stevens Point. As Hoch slashes to the rim, bounces off the back iron, up in the air, no good. Montgomery with a rebound, gets it tipped out of bounds, and it'll stay with the West.
So far, I haven't seen that major defensive change on Sanborn yet. I'm waiting for Clay to drop down and guard him.
Not sure it'd be the best idea.
No. Well, Sean Wallis promised he would guard him, but only outside the arc.
Empty promises.
Empty promises.
72-69, West leading. 13 minutes left to go. West wearing the dark uniforms.
Kind of hear the players talking to each other on the court. I don't know if you're going to get the ball down low. I mean, they reach from Sanborn. I just saw him defensively. It's sick.
Mantel's jumper's no good. Rebound Choice, hands off to Lawrence. Misavicious. His fourth three. Misavicious with 12, and Pat Coleman is with Corey McAdam.
Thanks a lot, Joe and Dave. And Corey, I want to talk to you first about the great season that Nazareth has had, but I wanted to ask you about the whole rivalry thing with St. John Fisher, because that is one of the less known big intense rivalries.
Yeah, I mean, everyone on the team realizes once I stepped in, I hate Fisher, and I'm not afraid to say it. Everyone on the team is a big joke now between everyone. It's like, Corey, you like fishing? No, Corey doesn't like Fisher at all. Nobody here likes him, I don't think.
I was at Fisher for the sectional a couple years ago, and I'd heard, yeah, of course they're right across the street from each other, but they're really, literally right across the street from each other.
Yeah, same road, and that makes it interesting when they schedule our games. And they try to schedule them on Tuesday nights now, so the crowd's not big, but it's definitely a bragging rights in the area, bragging rights on East Ave, and it's a lot to play for.
And you guys winning the Empire 8 tournament title, I think you guys get those bragging rights for a while.
It's a big statement game for our school, and I wouldn't want any other way to go out like that than to win on Fisher's floor against Fisher, so it was great.
All right, that's Corey McAdam. Back over to Joe and Dave.
Mr. Vicious looking for his 5th three. That one no good, and John Mantel from Kelvin is there for the rebound. East is back in front, 75-72 with 11:21 to go, and a block by Sharlow as Hoch tried to drive it to the rim.
Starting to notice both teams cherry picking a little bit. Some guys trying to get the nice looks on the inside, 94 feet away. Looking for the release pass.
The East is shooting 50% from the field, only 33% from three. The West shooting 45%, but they're 12 of 24 from three. Hoch's free throw is good. West back within 2. And mass substitutions here.
Yeah, the East definitely going with that 5-on, 5-off mentality. The West is a little more selective in their substitution patterns.
Grinnell College-style substitutions.
Yeah, luckily not every minute. Yeah. I mean, really, at Grinnell, you can put in some ice hockey boards.
It is exactly like hockey.
And just don't even blow the whistle.
McAdam, Hollins, Jean-Baptiste. Ouedraogo in there right now with the ball at the free throw line. And Darnell Braswell completed the 5 for the East right now. And Jean-Baptiste will go to the line with a chance to extend the 1-point East lead with 11:08 left to go in the All-Star game.
West foul, person number 44, Nate Montgomery. This first team foul, number
2nd
2.
foul on the West. 4th in the half.
Jean-Baptiste at the line.
I don't even think they've hit the double bonus for the game total.
No.
Both teams combined. This has got to be great for a ref. You just get to watch the game pretty much.
Yep, pretty much.
Have some fun with it.
Jog up and down the floor, and then get paid.
And whistle if you have to.
Right. Hoch in the West trailing by 2. 11 minutes left to go. Clay Henson, 7 of 8 from 3.
A little bit of a weave there.
Alade was fouled. Going to get Jean-Baptiste on that one.
His first team foul, number 3. Kola Alade from Austin at the line.
Pat Coleman's on the West bench. I know he's waiting to line up a interview, though I see Sean Wallis eyeing him. So a little worried that Sean's trying to get a little ear time here.
You had your time, Sean.
Oh, wait. Sean's going to go into the game. I saw him get up. I thought maybe he was going to move down next to Pat on his own.
Maybe Pat can go out on the floor like that and one mixtape
there
stuff.
You go. Just stand in the post.
Yeah.
Just stand in the post and hope you don't get hit by Sanborn.
Braswell extends the East lead back to 4, 79-75 with 10:38 left to go. Braswell into double figures with 11. 16 for Ouedraogo leads the East. 23 for Henson leads the West.
Things are probably going to get a little more intense in the last 10 minutes as this game remains tight.
Ouedraogo gets the block. Jean-Baptiste tries to feed Hollins, who was the cutter down the right side of the lane, and Hoch the other way for the West. Pulls up at the free throw line. Got his own rebound and scores.
Put back by John Hoch from Carroll.
Hoch's 2nd bucket. He now has 4, 79-77. Whoops. Got to call a foul that time. And Mantel says, sorry.
Yeah. Mantel got in the air. Ouedraogo lands on top of Ouedraogo and falls off. He literally looked up at Ouedraogo. Sorry about that.
Dustin
Mitchell and Wallis come in. for the West squad. Montgomery and Hoch check out. Hollins to inbound. McAdam working on Wallis. Hops into the paint, gives up his dribble, fades away and connects. It's the first sustained lead of the day for the East squad. The West controlled most of the first 25 minutes or so of the game. The East in front by 4 right now with 9:40 left to go. Driving is Mitchell. He's fouled. Pat Coleman has John Hoch on the West bench.
And I do. Thanks a lot, Joe and David. John, first of all, I got to ask, you guys are trailing. There's get a little more intensity here in the final few minutes, and we've got to win this game, right?
Oh, yeah, you can tell out there. The game's definitely picking up a little intensity-wise. I mean, I know in the first half, guys were a little more joking around a little bit. And I think definitely, especially we're down 4 right now. We want to win just as bad as any other game, so it's definitely picking up a little bit.
What's it like playing with these guys? I know you've probably played against a couple of these players at some point along the line.
Absolutely. I played against Dustin Mitchell. He's a heck of a player. But being out here playing with these great players, it's really, it's an unbelievable experience. You play against good competition all over when you're playing in your regular season, but then you see some of these guys all on the same court, and boy, it's a different level out there. It really is. It's a lot of fun too.
Over 1,500 points for Carroll, if I remember correctly. What's Carroll's future look like for next year?
I think Carroll's going to be just fine. I think Coach Buchanan's going to do a very good job of recruiting over there, and I always say there's a replacement for everybody. Good players come along, and somebody will step up, fill in my spot, and have a very successful career, I'm sure.
Well, in the course of this interview, you guys are now trailing by 7, so I'll let you go. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Back over to Joe and Dave.
Now trailing by 5, 84-79. East with the lead with 8:44 left to go. And a steal for Henson. 2 on 3 as Henson thought about firing one, but Braswell recovered. And Henson decides to take it to the 10. He now has 25. West within 3 with 8:26 to go. Braswell now has 14, 2 short of the team lead. That would make him the leading scorer.
You're right. You can see the intensity picking up a little bit, at least on the other end, trying to hit some big shots on the offensive side. I'm waiting for the defense to really start buckling down even more, because they're going to want to get, especially the West, who've crawled their way back to within 3 now, are going to want to really try and tighten things up a bit.
Meyer and Fields are in for the West squad. Henson for another 3. He's missed 2 in a row now. Meyer tried to put it back. No good. And Hollins ahead to Ouedraogo, out of his reach.
Nice idea. I would love to see Ouedraogo versus Henson after what he did to Sean Wallis on the crossover.
Yeah, that would have been something.
Very good chance he could have crossed over 2 guys there.
Sanborn, Misavicius, Lawrence, Choice, and Sharlow in for the East. East squad of the white uniforms, leading 84-81 inside of 8 minutes in the first ever NABC All-Star game. National championship game, about an hour and a half away, between Williams and Wisconsin Stevens Point.
For our broadcasting our plans, I was hoping these guys would take up a little bit more time.
Moving quickly.
I was really hoping they could take it at least till maybe, 12:15, but apparently they're going to take it to 11:45 if we're lucky. Oh, the block!
Mitchell gets blocked by Sharlow.
At least it'll leave us some space for overtime.
Yeah,
we
right.
get the Buffalo Wild Wings people up on that, right?
Ooh, oh, very nice.
Sponsorship. Hold on, just got a message. Anybody got a big flash?
Wallis hits the 3, and we're tied at 84.
We can do more post-game interviews. There are plenty of guys to talk to, too.
Oh, certainly.
I was just thinking, you were mentioning how quick the game is going. We haven't referenced the shot clock yet because they've not left more than 15 or less than 15 seconds on that thing.
I think there was one comment about it, and it was as it hit 15. Look at this.
Tim Lawrence with his 3rd 3.
His team's loving it behind the East bench. You got to feel bad for Strickland.
Yeah.
He's getting no love from his team.
Meyer from Fields, 87-86, East squad.
You got to wonder which side Randolph-Macon's cheering on.
Steal by Henson. He gets by Sharlow, but then is cut off in the corner, so he feeds Mitchell.
Back and forth we go. West takes the lead again.
Lawrence thought about another three. Instead, he'll drive, and he's fouled by Mitchell because Lawrence is shooting the three so well. They close out, and he drives by.
And you got to love it. Mitchell comes in and just hammers him. I mean, there was no doubt on the foul. That gives Lawrence a chance to be under the spotlight.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to hear that from his team.
Well, I guess it's no surprise. Randolph-Macon, 204th in the country as a team from the free throw line.
I don't know where you found that because I could only find the top like 30.
I'll tell you later. It's a secret.
Oh.
Wallis to Mitchell out front in an 88-88 game with 6:12 to go. I think we're going to get into triple digits. Mitchell,
not if they shoot that way, though.
He whispered at the rim, but no luck.
Sanborn, all of them really. I mean, they're working out here. You can just see.
How about this matchup? Sanborn over Mitchell. All-American over All-American, and it's 90-88 East squad in front.
And the feed from Sharlow. He worked hard for that.
Yeah.
Henson feeling it. Oh, almost got blocked by his teammate.
And he wanted so badly to get that block.
Oh, you know he wanted it. Sanborn was looking for it.
It's a vicious to the corner. Choice drives, hangs, and hits. Choice now has 6. And the East in the white uniforms up by 4 with 5:24 left to go. Wallis for 3. Wallis and Choice battling for it. Behind the back pass from Choice. Bad choice. Thank you.
McAdam is giving Wallis a hard time for not hustling back on D.
Wallis, you could call that cherry picking.
That's cherry picking.
Yeah.
You're standing on the other free throw line and have no intent of getting back.
92-90 now. East squad in front. 5:06 left to go. Braswell, McAdam, Jean-Baptiste, Ouedraogo, and Hollins in for the East. Montgomery comes in for the West squad, as does Meyer.
Pat Coleman with Josh Sharlow on the East bench.
Thanks a lot, Dave. And Josh, I wanted to talk to you about St. Lawrence and the Liberty League because the Liberty League is kind of a little bit under our radar. And I think in the winter, a lot of the schools in the Liberty League are more focused on that sport that's on the ice. But tell us a little bit about St. Lawrence basketball, especially over the past couple of years for you guys.
My freshman year, we had the best record that we've had in a while, and we've been able to build on that for the past couple of years. The first year, we won the Liberty League tournament on the road. And then the following 2 years, we won the outright title and hosted but lost. And then this year, we were able to win it outright and get the Liberty League championship, so it was nice.
I'm sorry, I know I pulled you out here just as you got off the floor, so I'll try to ask a longer, maybe a Dave McHugh style question for about 30 seconds, so that you can breathe. But there's another Sharlow on the team, and I know you and I were talking earlier, but he's not your brother, I guess.
No, he's from the same area I'm from, but we might be related, distant cousins or something like that. But he's a sophomore, and he's a big kid, so they got a bright future ahead of them. I'm excited to see what they can do the next couple of years.
All right, thanks for your time, and you guys holding on to the lead here. You're gonna ratchet up. You got to get the W here in the final 4 minutes.
Yeah, well, usually All-Star games are all about having fun and trying to show off in the beginning, and then towards the end, guys kind of buckle down and try to get the win. So hopefully we can maintain that lead and come out with the W.
All right, well, I'm guessing you probably have one more shift to go, so good luck.
All right, thank you.
All right, back over to Joe and Dave.
Question was not nearly long enough to be part of my repertoire.
Yeah, I know. I'm just not capable. I worked for USA Today, for goodness sake, not the Washington Post.
Very well put there by Sharlow, by the way. At the beginning, it's about showing off.
Yep.
Right about now, you start buckling down. East squad in front 94-91 with 3:52 left to go.
A rare traveling call. made there with 3-4 minutes left in the game.
Braswell to the rim. No foul call, no travel call. Henson right down the middle, goes coast to coast with the right hand and brings the West to within one. Ouedraogo all alone.
You don't want to leave that guy open. He's going to make you pay. He's got 18.
He's 9 of 11. East by 3. 3:18 to go. Here's Montgomery in the post, guarded by Ouedraogo. To the top for a 3 from Fields. Offensive rebound by Meyer. Goes over to the East squad, leading by 3, 3:03 to go. John Mantel's going to come into the game for the West. And our Pat Coleman has finally gotten a hold of Dustin Mitchell of Whitewater.
And the game's getting more intense, of course, 96-93 East with 3 minutes to go. But I wanted to talk to Dustin Mitchell first about last night. You got the biggest ovation of the group, I think, of everybody who was introduced, and that was from the Wisconsin-Stevens Point fans.
Yeah, Point has some great fans, and as you can see, they travel great distances for them. But they weren't always that great to me, especially when we're at their place. But now that we're all from Wisconsin, same conference, it's a little different story. But it was good. I mean, they made me feel good.
Well, that's why I was wondering. I figured there was no love lost between you guys. All right, 6'9", we saw you stepping out, working on your free throws at halftime. You're pretty intense about this.
Yeah, I try to be great at every part of my game. You know, I'm always trying to critique something. And I really struggled with free throws this year, so it's just something I always work on.
All right, Dustin Mitchell, thanks for joining us, and good luck the last couple of minutes here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Back to Joe and Dave.
98-93 East in front with 2:11 left to go. West with the basketball. A lob from Wallis to Montgomery.
Pretty nice pass there.
Yeah.
Two-hand over the top. Soccer out-of-bounds style.
Hollins gets stripped by Mantel, but then he traveled, and that's a good call.
Little hop skip there.
Yeah.
He was hoping to get away with it. Heck of a steal, though. Swatted out of the hands, grab it. And now you know the East is getting intense. 1:58 left. They bring in the big guys.
Yeah. And Dustin Mitchell goes straight from Pat Coleman to Tyler Sanborn. Who's a more difficult matchup?
To be determined.
Choice. This would be a big 3. Just scrapes the front of the rim, and Hoch brings it out, trailing by 3 with 1:50 to go. Here's Clay Henson. He's got 27 points. Mitchell gets it stolen away. Here comes Sharlow. Tried to go off of the backboard for choice. Instead, here comes the West squad. And a timeout called with 1:30, and that's the kind of timeout you call when you want to talk about strategy down by 3.
Yeah, you want to know how to get back into it thanks to the East squad twice, giving up opportunities, including you saw that one coming from Sharlow. He went in pretty intense to throw it off hard, but a little too hard to set up the alley-oop, and Pat Coleman's actually in the.
And you move so we get you a clean spot out there, okay? Let's play real smart this last minute and 31 seconds. Let's really try to get some screens, either ball screens or even non-ball screens for them, okay? Let's go. 1, 2, 3, win.
And you get a little inside knowledge there, and from the sideline. Nice, play smart. It's pretty good, but ball screens. Going to be looking for a lot of ball screens apparently from the West squad.
Wonder if they'll try to get Clay Henson open.
Yeah, I'm going to go off on a gut and say maybe.
He's got the ball right now, down by 3, 1.5 to go. Leading all scorers with 27. Henson finds Hoch. They work it to the post and Mitchell. Sanborn cuts him off. Henson leans into one and hits a 3. We're tied at 98 and Henson has 30.
He's laughing all the way down the court. There's no way that should have gone in.
1 minute.
And now a timeout from the East.
With exactly 1 minute showing on the clock. What a game this has been.
Pat Coleman's going to rush down and see Sean Wallis, by the way, waving a towel at Henson for the heat coming from Henson. We'll see if we can hear from the East side.
You better from the East side? Go ahead. Right here. Here's our 5-man. Yeah. We're going to dribble over here.
Well, no, I want this side, my bad. The far side. Yeah, I like the far side. Far side court. We're going to dribble over here. 3-man, run the loop here like this. 2, pop out. Reverse it to 2, duck in 5 right here. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, let's go.
So that's going to
I think
going to
setting up
Sanborn.
Sanborn,
And he determined which side of the floor it's going to be on, too. He had him change it.
If he doesn't score here, I'm going to be rather disappointed. He even determined, no, I want to be over here. No, I want to be here.
I want to see him shoot the three he's been promising.
I know he's been promising a 3, but I have yet to see him step out.
All tied at 98 inside of a minute.
Here it comes. Tyler still wants it. Oh.
Getting held by Mitchell.
And Mantel cheating on the backside.
Miss a vicious. Offline. Lawrence grabbed it after it hit the baseline.
They liked the plan, they just couldn't execute it.
Well, Dustin Mitchell guarding Sanborn, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they're holding.
Right.
37 seconds to go, tied at 98. Henson, who has 30, picks up his dribble. Meyer for the lead. No good, and a rebound by Choice with 25 seconds. And will the East play for the last shot?
And will they set up the same play? Mr. Vicious just came down along the baseline with a look of, oh my gosh.
Sharlow with 12 seconds, around a Sanborn screen with 10, almost lost it. Mr. Vicious with 7. Now 5 for the lead off the back iron, tip up no good, tipped out to Lawrence for the win. Overtime.
If Lawrence had hit that to win it, I think we would have all lost it.
Will they play overtime, though? That's the question.
We got time to do it.
Yeah, why not? I mean, again, I want them to take it to 12-15.
Putting 3 minutes up.
Oh, come on, let's go with 5.
Oh, beautiful. A 3-minute overtime.
I love it. First All-Star game, let's play a little extra.
98 after 40 minutes of play.
You know, you got to fill out the record book completely. So adding the overtime into that is part of that equation.
We joked around about this being a record. Well, this may stand for a few years.
It very well could. So the other thing is both teams never got into triple digits. So you need the extra time. Make sure you get into the triple digits.
The East with 6 players in double figures, led by Ouedraogo's 18. Clay Henson with a mind-boggling 30 points on 8 of 11 from 3 for the West. Also got Sean Wallis and Dustin Mitchell in double figures, along with Kyle Meyer for the West. And Sanborn will jump it against Mitchell to get this overtime started.
Sanborn's got 3 more minutes to fire that 3 he promised me. Still don't think it's going to happen.
West will start with a basketball, moving left to right.
I forgot to mention I was expecting Tyler to be tweeting during the game. But there were no tweets, or him or Wallis.
Are you kidding me? Clay Henson now has 33.
Yeah, I know he wished he had done that last night, but you can tell he's still having fun today.
Jean-Baptiste with a nice touch around the bucket. He now has 13. 101-100, West leading. Feels like an NBA game now.
I was going to say, just a little bit more defense.
Mitchell. 2 minutes, 17 seconds in this 3-minute overtime session. Jean-Baptiste to tie. Mitchell with a rebound.
Question is, if this still remains tied, will they actually play
a second overtime? Maybe a 1-minute overtime?
Yeah, sudden death.
Meyer with 3 men around him. Pump fakes and gets all 3 to get off their feet.
Got to win by 2.
Yeah, there you go. Sounds good, Pat. West now with a 5-point advantage with 1:52 to go in this overtime session. The first ever NABC Division III Senior All-Star game. Going into overtime and coming down to the wire here in Salem.
And the referees have not lost their touch in this game, making sure the jerseys are tucked in even in the overtime.
Sharlow to the rim and 1.
Kind of some surprises from the West squad. Really? Called that?
Yeah, not sure. Yeah, that's a very good point. He's got 9 now, a chance to get into double figures. A chance to cut it to 2.
Just as long as they don't call 2 more for either side so that we don't jump into the 1-and-1. We haven't had it so far. Why start now?
Neither team got their extra timeout on the board here for this overtime.
Yeah, like they've used a ton of those.
Only for subs.
Darnell Braswell now in. 2-point game.
Oh!
Henson, reverse layup off the feed from Wallis.
Wallis loves that pass. He loves that long-distance baseball bounce pass almost. And, man, he nailed that one.
Sanborn dunks it over Mantel. 107-105 West in front, inside of a minute and a half.
Sanborn basically said to Henson there, yeah, but I can dunk. Return favor from the two Guilford guys. The Guilford team loving it.
Mantel muscling over Sanborn, then gets it stripped by Hollins. Sharlow bounce pass inside and a layup good for McAdam. The East ties it at 107 with a minute to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I see a win by 2 attitude coming out of this one.
Sounds good.
Or maybe we'll get into like a slam dunk contest, 3-point shooting, something real quick that can determine the winner here.
Because we got the championship game starting in an hour and 10 minutes.
But again, I wouldn't mind him taking it to 12-15.
Hey, guess what? Shot clock's down to 10. Mantel for the lead. No.
And it reset. Oh. And it will remain on by 0.2 of a second for this
35.2 left on the game clock.
And we're tied at 107.
So again, the East can play for the last shot. They had a chance in regulation. A Tim Lawrence jumper
and
with
no
2
timeout.
seconds was no good. Yeah?
No timeout here.
Yeah.
Gonna run the offense.
McAdam, along with Hollins, Sharlow, Sanborn underneath, guarded by Mitchell, and then Braswell over on the wing for the East squad. 15 seconds to go. Tied at 107 in overtime. Inside of 10 seconds now.
Coach is
down
yelling
to 8.
out the commands. 4 down they want.
Backdoor cutter is Braswell. He's fouled and he'll shoot free throws with 3 seconds to go.
You know the official actually didn't want to call that. But he had no choice.
Yeah.
Braswell, tons of contact there. Mantel was not going to let him score.
Braswell's 1 of 2 from the line today. 2.8 seconds left to go. Wallis is chirping in Braswell's ear.
I was going to say, Braswell's got a smirk on his face. Oh, and Sean can't believe it. Sanborn even chirping back at Wallis. Apparently no timeouts.
Second one. Got them both.
Wallis
2-point lead.
Checking out. Oh, there is a timeout. Wallace was trying to figure out. The referee told him there were no timeouts allowed. Probably had gotten inside knowledge that no, do not let them call timeouts.
We were joking around before the game started. Sean Wallis, the only one on the floor with coaching experience.
You're right. Yeah, collegiate coaching experience.
Right. Get the ball to him. We're going to get inbound to you and push. You're the coach, man. I know. Okay, let's inbound and push. Inbound and push. Okay.
Hey, you inbound it.
1, 2, 3, wait.
Not sure who was coaching that, Pat.
Yeah, they were. It was kind of a by committee. They were going to inbound it to Henson. He's going to push the ball up the floor. Shocker there.
Yeah, shocker with 2.8 left. Wallace will not bring the ball up. We'll see if Wallace is the one who's open for the shot versus Henson.
Henson has 9 threes already, 35 points. He gets the inbound. He's not even going to get a shot off. They're going to foul him. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, All-Star game, and they point out that the ball will be out of bounds in front of the East bench.
That's the strategy. It's not
They're going to try and
in it to win it.
I mean, wow.
And Sanborn will guard the inbound.
The shock on the West team is just priceless. Oh, and it'll remain West ball. They said they tipped it.
Should still be a second. It can't end like that.
No, half a second maybe.
Officials are going to discuss this.
It barely got touched. There's no way it went that far.
Wait, 1 second. It was just tip. So I have to be like 7 tip.
Are they calling it?
It's over.
Oh! Come on, he tipped it. It wasn't a second worth of time.
I don't think they can go to the monitor.
Are you sure? I don't know if it's over.
Boo. I want a second on the clock. I want at least see
0.7 to go.
Okay, I take that. I'll take that. It still gives them a chance to take this final shot.
All right.
I know the East coaches were calling that off.
109-107. East leading. Kyle Meyer will inbound it for the West.
Coach Gamber yelling out, back screen left, watch out for the back.
And
yeah,
right in front of the bench too. It's a good spot.
And Henson, by the way, is the guy they'd be looking for the
Is
back
he getting
screen.
quadruple teamed over here?
Yeah. Already, Braswell, there's 2 guys on Henson.
Time for a catch and shoot. Right-hand hook shot offline. And the East wins the first ever NABC Division III Senior All-Star Game, 109-107 in overtime. What a game.
Well, you did just about everything else today, but you couldn't make that crazy circus shot work.
I was feeling it today. My teammates, these are great guys. They were just finding me in good spots. That's all it came down to.
Thanks. Congratulations.
That was Clay Henson, who finishes with 35 points on 9 of 13 from 3 for the West squad. Wow. Pretty fun, huh?
That was great. And still the friendliness and the competitiveness for both teams. Certainly had a good time. 35 points from Henson. He put on a show, but, almost overshadowing everybody else who actually put up some good points.
Yeah, absolutely. East wound up shooting 51% from the field. West at 43, but 40% from 3. So pretty impressive in their own respect. For the West, we told you Henson had 35. Wallis with 13, but 7 assists. Had a couple very nice backdoor passes to Henson in the second half. Mitchell with 16, 13 rebounds, a double-double for Mitchell. Meyer also had a double-double, 13 points and 10 rebounds. 7 points for Mantel, 9 for Alade, 4 for Hoch. Strickland was scoreless. Fields with 3, Montgomery with 7 for the West. And for the East.
For the East team, led by, I lost him, there he is, Ouedraogo, 9 of 11 shooting for 18 points, 16 points from Darren Braswell, and 5 of 12 shooting, 3 for 12 from beyond the arc. 13 points from Jean-Baptiste, 5 for 11, 1 for 7. He was 2 for 4 for the line. That's always a nice stat to have in an all-star game.
Yeah.
12 points from Misavicius, 4 of 11, all those shots coming from beyond the arc. 10 points from Sharlow, 4 of 9 from the field. And 6 points from Choice, 8 points from McAdam, 2 points from Hollins to round out the East scoring.
Final score 109-107. The East All-Stars defeat the West All-Stars in the first ever NABC Division III Senior All-Star Game at the Salem Civic Center in Salem, Virginia. So that'll do it for the All-Star Game. The national championship between Williams College and University of Wisconsin Stevens Point tips off in about 1 hour.